How's that for a fancy logo, huh? Hello, everybody. Hello, it's Dave Hughes with the News and Views, Dave Hughes channel 4. I've got all my monitors around here. Dave Hughes with the News and Views. Dave Hughes with the News and Views for Thursday. For Thursday, oh, there's Crotch. The news team, we got Crotchy. We got Little Lou. Little Lou's on the news team. And we got Cringy.
Hi, everybody, I'm Cringy.
Yeah, so we got all the guys here. The news team is here. And we've surfed the web and we found all the big news stories for you today. Thursday, the 16th of August, 2018. Hi, Diamond Slash. Hi, Awoken. Hi, Sister Earth. Hi, Nana. Hi, Awoken. Hi, Awoken. Hi, Awoken. The big news today, I guess, would be Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin passing away. Really sad news. We knew this was coming. She'd been in bad health for the last week or so. She was put in a hospice a couple days ago. So this is not a surprise. Aretha Franklin passed away today. I'll tell you something. I can't remember exactly the first 45 I ever bought as a kid. You know, I was about 10 years old. No, I wasn't 10 years old. I was 9 years old in 1967. Okay, I was 9 years old, so you can guess how old I am. I was 9 years old in 1967, and I remember going down to one of my local stores. There's probably a Woolworths or a W.T. Grant and Company, and I'm picking up the 45 for Respect, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. I remember buying that. That was one of the very first 45 records I ever got. And I don't know if it was the first. I really can't remember. It was one of the first. It was either that or Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields Forever. Penny Lane was on one side. Strawberry Fields Forever was on the other. Capitol Records there. The Beatles. It was that Aretha Franklin on Atlantic. Remember Atlantic Records that had the red and kind of brown cover on it? That was one of the first 45s I think I ever bought. And interesting, I am pulling up her stats here on Billboard. Do you know that Respect was not considered, according to the stats, her biggest top 100 hits? According to this Billboard listing here, I Knew You Were Waiting for Me, a duet she did with George Michael in April of 1987. I Knew You Were Waiting for Me with George Michael was actually a bigger hit for her. That's according to Billboard magazine stats I just pulled up here. Respect was #1 for only 2 weeks. You would think a song that has gone down in history like that, it's still being played all over the place today. That would still be, you think that would be her biggest hit, but it was only #1 for 2 weeks, and that was June 1967. So I do remember that. So anyway, R.I.P. Aretha Franklin. Hi, Nana Pam. Hi, Sister Earth. Hi, SKG. I'm over here bathing in Steve Perry. Oh, no big deal. Hi, Caravan Carolyn. How are you? So we're doing a little news update today to break up the monotony of your Thursday. Hi, Long Duck Dong. Have you ever chatted with Princess Bubbles? Because I have not too long ago. Because I have not too long ago. Oh, really? You chatted with Princess Bubbles does show up on my channel now and then. My channel, she does show up. I'd like to get a Princess Bubbles sticker. She's got Time Chaser needs to make a Princess Bubbles sticker, okay? Just give them to me. I'll have exclusive sales of them, okay? I think that's a good deal. Time Chaser, you make up a Princess Bubbles sticker. Make it kind of mysterious. Send it to me and only to me. Don't send any to Bubbles because we don't know who Bubbles is. Bubbles is probably multiple people. And then I will have exclusive distribution rights to the Princess Bubbles sticker. Okay, and I will not charge for it. I will send it away for free. Okay, I will make no money. I will not monetize it. Hi, Mr. Fluffy. Hi, Mr. Fluffy's here. Oh gosh, it's Josh. Dave, can a female get blah, 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 blah. Can a female blah, 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 blah. You know, long duck dong, we waste too much of our times labeling people. You know, we don't need to be labeling people. You know, it's what Stephen Stills said, love the one you're with. Hey, and just don't worry about all the labels, 2 and 3 and 1 and whatever. Just enjoy life. Okay. I don't know if it's us as Americans or what, but we're so into labeling. Are you this? Are you that? Just because you slept with this doesn't mean you're that. And, just enjoy it. We're all love the one you're with. That's all I say, Yes. R.I.P. Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. According to Billboard's Hot 100 hits here, I Knew You Were Waiting for Me with George Michael peaked at the #1 position for 2 weeks in April '87. That was her biggest hit. Respect was the second biggest, although I would argue with that. I mean, Respect is the song that just that's her, RESPECT, a civil rights kind of song. Respect. Female black woman, respect. Until You Come Back to Me, that's what I'm going to do. That was one of my favorite Aretha Franklin songs. February 1974. I love that song a lot. I remember listening to that. I bought that one too. I don't think I ever bought any Aretha Franklin albums. I always bought singles. But I definitely bought that one. And that's a great song. Until You Come Back to Me, that's what I'm going to do. That was her third biggest hit. And of course, Freeway of Love, the riding on the freeway. Now, I thought that would have been a bigger hit than what it was. It was, it only went to #3. It only went to #3 in August of '85. Freeway of Love. Chain of Fools went up to #2 in '68. Sweet Baby Since You've Been Gone. Sweet, Sweet Baby Since You've Been Gone. That's another 1968 song. Reached 5th place. Spanish Harlem. Really? I didn't know she did that. She did a cover version of Bridge Over Troubled Water. Really? I did not know that either. I knew Simon and Garfunkel did. Simon and Garfunkel. Baby, I Love You. Who's Zooming Who? That was a big hit. 1985. Daydreaming 72. These are her big hits. Think. The House That Jack Built. A Natural Woman. I guess that was the Carole King song. Say a Little Prayer. I Say a Little Prayer for You. Is that what that was? Rock Steady. Angel. Don't Play That Song. Sisters Are Doing It for Themselves. That was with Eurythmics, and that was Annie. What was her name? Annie Lennox. Annie Lennox. That's a good song. I like that a lot. That was '85. So I'd have to say my favorite songs from, and a lot of these songs really I'm not familiar with, to be honest with you. But the Sisters Are Doing It for Themselves. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Sisters Are Doing It for Themselves. Of course, Respect. Think. And I probably would have to say Freeway of Love and Until You Come Back. I think my favorite, to be honest with you, I'll say Until You Come Back to Me, 1974. I don't know. That just brings back some crazy memories in my life at that time. So anyway, that's my favorite. What's your favorite Aretha Franklin song? And she was also very good in the civil rights movement. And she kind of resurrected her career. She's kind of like David Bowie in a sense. She went one way with her career, and then she kind of went away for a while. Then she'd come back stronger than ever. So a really cool person there. SKG, Bubba Warbucks. I think my first 45 was Sugar Shack. Who did Sugar Shack? Who was that Caravan Carol? Sugar Shack. I remember Sugar doo doo doo. I bought that one. The Archies. Oh, honey, honey, you are my candy girl. And you've got me wanting you. Remember Tracy by the Cufflinks? Tracy, da 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 da. Dave Sings late 60s top 40 radio. That would be a violation of my trademark. You don't have no trademark, Bubbles. They just go. I guess go get the Princess Bubbles Disney thing or whatever. Isn't there a Princess Bubbles doll or something? Have TC mail it to PB for doxing purposes. Yeah, we can find. Yeah, Princess Bubbles, give Time Chaser your address, and then maybe he can dox you. Put your address on the sticker. Princess Bubbles. Princess Bubbles. Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Oh, man. Oh, man. Is Line Screw here? Is Mr. Screwball here? You know, I put the line screwball out front in the sun. I left it out there for like a week, and the yellow is all faded. It's all kind of gotten bleached out of it. The sun was the line screwball is kind of pale now. I'll have to get it for you and show it to you. So anyway, if you're old enough, what was the first song you ever bought? Okay, if you're old enough to remember 45s, you know, those were those little records that had the big hole in the middle. You used to be able to go to the store and there were singles. You know, you could buy singles, 45s, you know, and a brim full of Asha on the 45. Anyway, those were those records, and they didn't have Walmarts back then. There were no Walmarts back in the late 60s, early 70s. You go to a drugstore sometimes. A lot of the drugstore chains would have 45s. Woolworths was 45s. Montgomery Ward. You could go into a Sears, I think. It would go into like W.T. Grant and Company, J.M. Fields. A lot of those stores. Then there were little record shops around too. Sam Goody's was around back then, I think in New York. And you could buy 45s, and they were like 69 cents, 79 cents, something like that. And you could buy, you know, it was cool. It was very cool. My first 45 was Stevie Nicks' White Winged Dove. I like the white winged dove that rode that thing. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, the song she did with George Michael, according to Billboard, I Knew You Were Waiting, quote, coming, parentheses, for me, was her peak top hit of all times. Thank you. Who's that? Who's that? Colette. Oh, thank you so much, Colette. Appreciate that very much. You are far more than generous. I'll tell you. I knew you were waiting for me. That was her, according to this Billboard article, that was her top hit. And I'm going to check out another list. This is one that just came out today because she passed away. So let's see what comes up in her list of her top 20 Billboard top hits if they have the same ones listed. Okay, I am just curious to see what they list here. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. During her lifetime, Aretha Franklin charted 46 albums on the Billboard 200, with 6 reaching the top 10. I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, 1967. Aretha Arrived, 67. Aretha Lady Soul, 68. Aretha Now, 68. Aretha Live at the Fillmore, 1971. And Amazing Grace with James Cleveland in 72. Her last Billboard entry was in November of 2014, where she sings the great diva classics. Okay, now they have a different, this is funny now because Billboard magazine, it's the same source I used before. They now say the story that came out today, I Knew You Were Waiting for Me with, okay, yeah, that's right. The same thing. I Knew You Were Waiting for Me with George Michael was her top hit. Respect, number 2. Until You Come Back to Me, number 3. Freeway of Love, number 4. And Chain of Fools, number 5. So yeah. So anyway, Respect was not her biggest hit. But it's probably the one that's more associated with her than anything else, right? R-E-S-P-C-T. We went to Musicland for our music. Yeah, we used to have a lot of chains like that. There were like a lot of independent record shops. There was Sam Goody. Sam Goody started in New York City, and then they kind of went down to Philly, and there were some Sam Goodies. We had Waxy Maxy here in D.C., I'm trying to think all the other, there was a thing called Penguin Feather, Kent Mill Records here. A lot of those were local ones. My mom had a 45 of the Beatles' Revolution. Really? I did not know they put, yeah, I guess there were 2 versions of Revolution, right? Well, there were 2 versions of the song Revolution, right? There was the fast version. You say you want a revolution. And then they had that Shooby-Doo one that was on the White Album. Shooby-Doo, they say you want a revolution. Yeah, so remember they did two versions of that. So I presume the faster version was more of like a top 40 one. Ooh, I like that. I like the second. I like that one version. That real. Oh yeah, you want to change the world? Shooby doo up, up, shooby doo up. Well, if you're messing with hate, you got to remember the Chairman Mao. Everything's gonna be all right. I had a number of Beatles singles. Yeah, I think ones I ever bought was Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane. I remember. I had a lot. Yeah. They were on Capitol, and then they flipped over to Apple. Apple was still distributed by Capitol. Hey, Jay Edmond. Hey, Hazel Reptiles fam. Hey, Sunny Girl. Doing the news today. The latest news, big news today. Aretha Franklin passes away. One of the greatest. Queen of Soul Aretha Franklin leaves behind an unparalleled legacy on Billboard's charts. She died at her home in Detroit today at age 76. Wow. In a chart career dating to 1960, she scored 73 entries on the Billboard Hot 100, among the most for a woman nearly 40 years until Nicki Minaj. Really? Well, I don't know about that. Anyway, and you have to put the whole thing in perspective too, because the whole civil rights movement was going on during her career, and yes. Hold on a second. I have to always fight with these computers. I always do. They always say, oh, they make things so easy. I'm always fighting with them and yelling at them. So anyway, other big news today, huh? We got Aretha Franklin passes away. Oh, did you see that? You see that yesterday? President Trump signed a bill that was sponsored by John McCain, and he would not mention McCain's name. He was snubbing him because he's been feuding with John McCain, dying of brain cancer. I mean, here you got one of the greatest senators we've ever had in the country, John McCain, a Vietnam War hero. I mean, he was, prisoner of war for a long time. He came out, he's a senator, longtime senator from Arizona. Ran for president with, what's her face? The lady from Wasilla, Alaska. Remember, she could see Putin's house from her home because Alaska's next to Russia. What's her name? Anyway, he signs this bill that was sponsored by McCain and did not mention McCain's name once. I mean, that is a classy guy, Mr. Class. The one thing, you could call Donald Trump a lot of things, but the one thing that is probably the most accurate is he is an incredibly petty man, okay? He is, a very petty, every little thing bothers him, Why don't you do a tribute to Vinnie Paul from Pantera? You know what? Because I don't really know much about Pantera. I was I don't know, I was just not plugged into them. I'm sorry. I was more Aerosmith and Foreigner and... I don't do Pantera because I wasn't much of a fan of the band. I don't know. McCain is a rhino, Republican in name only. I don't know. I like John McCain. I didn't vote, believe it or not, I did not vote for him when he ran for president with Suzanne Summers. He ran with Suzanne Summers, right? Diana Ross and former President Barack Obama have both paid homage to Aretha Franklin, which is very nice. Oh yeah. And Trump actually said something nice about her. I guess he tweeted something. Yeah, oh, yeah, okay, we got some interesting news here today. That's not what I want. Oh, where's my news? Where's my news? Oh, did you see what I got in the mail today? See what I got in the mail today? I got this in the mail today. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's addressed to Adam Williams at my P.O. box. Got in my mailbox today. It's from the Sugar TV store in Wexford, Pennsylvania. Hundreds of new titles. Today's hottest releases inside Sugar TV store. I am not going to open this on camera. Well, okay, I will take a peek inside, but I'm not going to show it on camera because it's definitely I can't show this. It's an adult catalog. It's only Crotchy, you can't even see it. You're not old enough. So anyway, somebody's pranking me. You know who Adam Williams is, by the way. Let's see here. Hold on a sec. Sarah Palin. I could not think of her name. That's the lady that ran with John McCain. Yeah. Why am I even mentioning her? It's funny how your brain just kind of goes out of that. New Nomadic. I was in Nomadic. Couldn't vote for McCain because Sarah Palin was too vapid. Oh, anyway. Elon Musk. He was one of the richest men in America, and he owns Tesla. And there's a whole big thing about him taking Tesla private. Anyway, he goes on Twitter the other day, and he makes a tweet that apparently is in violation of SEC rules, the Securities and Exchange Commission, when you're taking a company private, and then he says something like he has $10 billion lined up to take his company private. Well, apparently the stock market can then be very much affected by that tweet, and certain people can make money off it, and certain people can lose money off it. And so anyway, it's like these rich people, these people like the president and Musk, they do these Twitter things and get themselves all into trouble, right? It's like Roseanne. She got herself fired from doing something on Twitter. I mean, Twitter how many people have screwed up their lives on Twitter, huh? Yes. Yeah, I got a porn catalog. Where did I put it? Crotchy, what did you do with it?
I hid it.
Crotchy, what did you do with the porn catalog? I don't see it. It did. It literally disappeared here. I don't see where it went. It must have fallen back. I don't know. Isn't that weird? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's a porn catalog. Oh. Double-breasted, old-school booty. Double dip. Oh, my. Oh, Crotchy, look at that. Crotchy. Oh, my God. Look at that, little Lou. Look, his eyes just got big. He looked in here. Little Lou. Oh, my word. Lady Boss. Oh, my God. Oh, military wives. Anyway, we're not doing that. Saudi Arabia royal family will buy Tesla in 3 months. Gus Avocados, I wouldn't doubt you on that. Something big is going on, and Elon Musk hinted at it, and it's kind of crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff. I would not be at all surprised. So that was one of the big news stories. Did you know? Good story, New York Times. Did you know that banks are actually, on your phone, when you go to your bank's website or you go to the bank app and you type in your password or whatever, they're actually recording all of your little, either your keystrokes on your computer, your mouse movements, and your just the way you hold your phone and use your finger on, on the little touch screen. They're actually recording all that, and they can associate that with you. Okay. And if someone else uses your phone, and they can actually identify you by just the way you use your phone, what angle you hold it at, how you, how hard you press on the screen, and they then associate that with you, and then when you sign in, if it comes up like it's not you trying to sign in, then they do some security check. But they said that banks are actually doing this now, and a lot of places where you sign in. It's really interesting. So that's interesting. So everybody's watching everything you do. Hi, Geezer. How you doing, Mr. Geezer? Hi, New Nomadic. That really does like something Kratzy would do. He's got problems. He's got a porn problem, and he's got a booze problem.
Oh, Dave, come on! I'm just a normal puppet.
Oh man. Now, Cringy's the good one. Cringy's that good guy. He doesn't drink. He reads his Bible every night. He has a Bible. Yeah.
I'm a religious, spiritual Christian.
He's totally the opposite. He is totally the opposite of Kratzy. So we're trying to get him to kind of rub off a little bit on him. Totally, Kathy. It's a location thing that is usually a latency issue. I get it all the time with online gaming. Is Totally, Kathy having some troubles today? This morning I was having a lot of troubles with YouTube. I was down in the basement, the dungeon, trying to do my show. And every time I clicked on a video, it would do the spinny thing for quite a while. And then the video would start and stop and spin and start and stop and spin. Now, I know my internet here is pretty good, okay? But I do think YouTube is having intermittent troubles with some of their servers lately. I would bet on that, okay? What is my favorite Nicki Minaj song? I don't know anything about Nicki Minaj. It's way beyond my, I stopped paying attention to music about 1997. Sarah Palin, yes. Whatever happened to her? Trump does not like his war heroes captured, right? That was McCain's fault that he got captured, and here's a man who was, what did he, did Trump ever serve anything? How dare he criticize John McCain? He has no, it's horrible. That's why Donald Trump is so cringy. Oh, sorry about that, cringy. I don't know. Donald Trump, if Donald Trump just focused on economics, okay? Focus on economics and don't comment on social crap. Do not comment on Twitter. Just keep his mouth shut 90% of the time and just focus on the economy, getting jobs, protecting, doing the tariff thing, whatever he wants to do with all that stuff. If he just focused on the economy and stopped talking about all this other garbage, he would probably be a Reagan-esque type president. In fact, he would be, but he's his own worst enemy. He just gets up there and I don't know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know, Nebraska. You're in Nebraska. The internet probably isn't working too well up there. I don't know. Yeah, YouTube has been very spastic lately. Servers, I've noticed that. And as I say, every evening at about 8 or 9 o'clock, I notice the everything slowing down on YouTube. It's not happening everywhere else, but on YouTube, yes. I think they're just having some capacity. They may have a server farm down here and there, but don't start with politics, Dave. Donald Trump. What do you think of Donald Trump? Anyway, so what else? What other news is going on today? So Aretha Franklin has passed away. Nationals lost their fourth in a row. Oh my goodness. I thought he had a bunch of neat stories lined up here. Now I can't find any of them. Ah! Where was that? I thought I had some stories. I thought I had the news. Oh, yeah, there was some news in this. I had some news in here. California is going to put a cancer warning on coffee. Oh, here's a nasty thing. An environmental research advocacy group has found traces of a controversial herbicide in Cheerios, Quaker Oats, and other breakfast foods that it says could increase cancer risk for children. In the report released Wednesday, the Environmental Working Group said that it had tested 45 samples of breakfast foods made from oats grown in fields sprayed with herbicides. Then, using a strict standard the group developed, it found elevated levels of glyphosate in 31 of them. Now, glyphosate is it's the stuff that's in that Roundup weed killer, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know, man. If you're giving your kids Cheerios for breakfast, I'd be a little hesitant about that, you know? I just got to say, I like Trump, but it's horrible thing to say about a vet. Yeah, absolutely, you know? I mean, to make it sound like John McCain is some sort of a coward or he didn't fight to the death. He got captured. A lot of people got captured in various wars, and we don't call them cowards. The planes get shot down, whatever happens. Donald Trump. I don't know. There is something about him that he is his own worst enemy. He just keeps saying things that inflame people, and it's just, I don't know. I do know why he got elected. That's, I think, because of economics and stuff like that. Stick to economics, and presidents should not be on Twitter. All these rich guys, Elon Musk and whatever, they shouldn't be on Twitter. Anyone see the Vicardi video with Blind Muse and Unibassist? It was hilarious. No, I haven't seen that, Totally Kathy. I do like that. I really do enjoy Camo Rave. I think that's the biggest hit of the season. Camo Rave. Airplane narrowly avoids hitting a van crossing Missouri airport. Yeah, I saw that on the news last night. Oh, yeah. This was weird. There was a lady doing gardening, 87-year-old lady doing gardening, and the police used a taser on her. She was cutting dandelions in her garden, and she didn't speak English. And the police, and she looks like Mother Teresa. Okay, she's an old lady, kind of old gray hair, and she's working in her garden in a Georgia town. And the police asked her to comply with numerous commands to put down a knife she was using to work in her garden and cutting dandelions, and she didn't understand them, so they tased her. Wow. However, relatives of the lady say police failed to use good common sense. Oh, well, no kidding. She told us she was smiling at them to tell us she wasn't a threat. I don't know. I don't know. Some of these cops. There's a police body camera footage of the incident, but it has yet to be released. Charges against her are pending. I guess cutting your dandelions in Georgia with a knife is a crime. I don't know. I think that's a little overreaction. 87-year-old woman. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta watch that video. Tony Kathy. All righty, let's see. So anyway, the big news today: Aretha Franklin's passed away. I think she's one of the greats of all time in American music. Absolutely. Long Duck Dog, do you know we speak English like Trump says? I can't get anyone's name right. My brain is just so full of stuff. It's just constantly churning, you know? Ah. Oh, I'm live now. Isn't that nice? Now, Totally Kathy, this video you're talking about with blind views and stuff, where is that? I'm trying to find it. I don't see anything new. The Unibassist was lurking. Blind Views live stream are perfect. Video and quality is excellent. Stop blaming YouTube. It was a huge problem when she was recording her Big Brother thing with blind. You know what I've done? I've done a lot of Skype interviews with people, and I'm frequently finding that everything's out of sync. You know, when I did the interview with Mark Van Jones, when I did the interview with Kentucky Ranger, you know, the video and the audio just didn't match up, and I don't know. I don't know why that happens. Gus Avocados, you have horrible police in the U.S., unqualified bunch of idiots using guns in every case. You know, the problem is, Gus, you know, there are a lot of different police departments. There's hundreds of, thousands of them. Some police departments are pretty well trained. Others aren't. I don't know. Some of these cops nowadays don't have enough sense to. And Colette Millette. I always got her name right. Okay, totally got you. So how do you do the videos with blind views then? I mean, he does them very nicely. Your Big Brother ones, you're on one side, he's on the other. I'm curious how you did that. Oh, it's gone. It was up only 24 hours. Damn it! They had a meetup. And the other thing is too, it's the nature of the media, okay? It's like, you know, the police interact with civilians every day, millions of times, okay? Millions of times. You know, they have a very tough job. I'm going to defend the police here. It's a very tough job being a police officer. You're doing everything. You're doing, you know, family fights, got people on drugs, people on drunk, you know, crazy people. You're going looking for lost kids and lost dogs and, you know, everything from shoplifting to bank robbery. You don't know what you're going to get every day. You don't know going to be who you're dealing with. And 99% of the police's interactions with ordinary citizens usually is normal, above board. The cops everything works out. There's a tiny fraction, you know, where things go wrong. Okay. Probably way less than 1%, you know, where the cop, you know, tases the 87-year-old grandmother or does, you know, something stupid like that happens. And now, you know, and it probably has always been that way. But nowadays, something like that, you know, it's on David Muir, ABC News, you know, it'll be, you know, they always do that. They have, you know, it's like big news now, you know, and it's all over the news and everyone's screaming bloody murder and whatever. So, and I'm not saying that it's right and it should be excused. No, police make mistakes. It should be investigated and whatever. But, you know, you got to realize it's a tiny minority of what's really going on there. I see somebody to block. Goodbye. This old lady's grandson was a cop in the past. He said the police did nothing wrong, but he said they should have used more wisdom. Well, yeah, they saw an old lady with a knife, and they were telling her to drop the knife, and and she didn't understand English, and she was smiling, and maybe they were afraid she was gonna do some damage to herself or something. I don't know. Why any other country don't police have problems like your police academy? They don't pay. And the other thing too is very right, Jay Edmond. The police don't make they're not one of the highest paid professions. They don't pay the cops here in New York City enough for all the crap they are called to do. It's a very high stress job, okay? So anyway, Jack, what's his name? Dorsey, the guy who runs Twitter. He's got the beard now. Is that his name, Dorsey? I don't know. He said they've also they put Alex Jones in a timeout, like a week. There's a week he can't do anything. So let's see. All the top social media things have put poor old Alex Jones in some sort of either blocked him or whatever. I don't know. The guy's launching the guy has a big app going on there, and all these other people are getting it. So I don't know. I think it's much ado about nothing, to be honest with you. EMTs in California only make minimum wage. That's terrible. That's really terrible. Veteran officers say the recruits nowadays have the lower standards of acceptance and are not the sharpest knives in the drawer. Wow. Do 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 ba do boo boo ba do boo boop ba do boo. Oh, it's interesting to see what's going on with newspapers. Apparently, we get a lot of our newsprint here in America from Canada, because they have a lot of logging up there. And apparently, Donald Trump wants to raise the tariffs on newsprint. So the cost of newsprint is going way up, which is meaning that a lot of newspapers are in a lot of trouble for having to pay to print. The president lashed out after over 200 newspapers, including the New York Times, published editorials about the dangers of his repeated attacks on the news media. The problem is when you are the president, that's what you deal with. That's part of the job, okay? You don't want to deal with the news media, then don't run for public office. Don't become president. That's part of our system. Is we have a whole group of people over here called the news media, and they just constantly examine and tussle with what politicians are doing. And it's it's like a checking thing, what do you do? I mean, what does Donald Trump want? The press to go away so he can be like Putin and just do whatever he wants and nobody questions him? Come on, man. This is America. Now, you may hate the free press. You may think CNN sucks and the New York Times sucks and the Washington Post sucks. But what's your alternative? A controlled press? A government-controlled press? No free press? I mean, you may say, yes, democracy is bad or democracy is full of problems, but the alternative to democracy is a lot worse. Carolyn, how are you doing? Let's hear both sides. Social media is for people to exchange ideas. Alex Jones might be a little wacky. You might be a conspiracy theorist, just saying, but he has a right to do it. If you want to watch it, you can. Here's an interesting thing I saw last night. NBC News, they were talking to Mr. Dorsey. I think his name is Jack Dorsey, head of Twitter. And Donald Trump, what did he call that lady? See, now my brain is totally going. Omarosa, whatever her name is. They are the one that's writing the book because she was one of the only black people in the Trump administration. Anyway, she's now written that tell-all book. And anyway, Donald Trump called this woman a dog in a tweet. He used the word DOG in the tweet. Okay. And the NBC anchor guy asked Dorsey if somebody called a woman a dog in a tweet, would their tweet get deleted? And he said yes, because they have like a bullying taste kind of thing, like all these other social media. If you call a woman a dog, that is seen as an insult, and your tweet or your Facebook post or even your YouTube video can get pulled just for saying that, okay? Yet, Dorsey he says, well, we have an exemption for people of power, because we want people in the public to see what they're really saying. So a president can get away with calling a woman a dog, okay? I'm just saying that. Where you and me, if you posted a video calling some woman a dog, they would, or a tweet calling some woman a dog, they would pull your tweet, but not if you're Trump. What's your email, Totally Kathy? Totally. I got it, totally. Yeah. Where's Totally Kathy? There she is. There's Totally Kathy. There's Totally Kathy right there. Totally Kathy. Oh. Losing 1 pound 300 times. Totally Kathy at AOL.com. There you go. Totally Kathy at AOL.com. It's right on her sticker there. Omarosa. Right. He called her a DOG, and, they left it up. Here we go with the creepy, weird head rubs. Dave, I'm not into bashing people's sexual preferences. Geezer, I made a video about Trump saying the N-word. Will Omarosa release a tape on him, and will it matter? Check it out, Dave. I don't know. It must be somewhere he said it, right? Because Huckabee, his press secretary, Huckabee Sanders, she didn't deny it. She just said, I haven't heard it. Yeah. You might send something. Yeah, Totally Kathy at AOL.com. Not only do YouTubers use a dog for views, so does Donald. Well, it's okay to call a dog a dog. I think that most people at one point or another have said the N-word. Yeah. I haven't. Unless you mean nuclear. Numbnuts. You're numbnuts. I call people numbnutses all the time. Is that the N-word? Oh my goodness, Drudge. Aretha Franklin passes away on the same day Elvis died. Well, it's not the same day, but yeah. Elvis died on August 16. Back in, when was that? 70-something, right? That's interesting. August 16th. So Elvis, I don't think that's that much of a coincidence. Remember, was it the whole thing with Michael Jackson? Farrah Fawcett passed away on that day. They both died on the same exact day. But of course, everybody was focused on Michael Jackson, and poor old Farrah Fawcett got next to no coverage at all. Yeah, Elvis died. Let's see. I remember when Elvis died. I was home from college on a summer break. Elvis death day. August 16th, 1977. Wow. So August 16th, 2018 is the date that yeah, so they both died on August 16th. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. What happens if Mueller subpoenas Trump? Turks. People in Turkey are taking sledgehammers, handguns, and fire to their iPhones. Apparently, they're all mad at America. Oh, my word. Home from college, Dave. You old. I was home from college. 1977. Yeah, that was in between my freshman and sophomore years. That's right. And I do remember watching television. It was late in the afternoon, and Elvis has passed away. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I'm old enough to remember that. It's Chrome's birthday. Oh, Chrome, yeah, Chrome there at Van City Van Life had a birthday in a chat last night. And an old BFSBD was today. He would have been 60 had he lived. I still have my Farrah Fawcett red swimsuit poster in my storage. Yeah, you can Google that up real easily. That was quite a I think everybody in college, everybody had that poster up in their college. That was a standard college dorm poster. Wasn't she only in Charlie's Angels one season? She wasn't in Charlie's Angels very long. That show ran for a number of seasons, but she was out of there pretty quickly. I guess she got a lot of film rights and film things. Yeah, maybe Elvis is still around? Yeah, and old Elvis is still around. Conspiracy theories. The same time as Groucho. Yeah, pretty sure every guy in America had that poster. Oh, wow. Anyway, oh, like that. I got a lot of swag in the mail lately. Look at this. A friend of mine somebody sent me this. A decade of successes. The Washington Bullets, 1970 to 1980. Remember the Bullets? They're now the Wizards. There's the Bullets television team. Look at this guy. Remember him? You've seen him. James Brown, not the singer James Brown. James Brown. He's on. I think he does CBS, right? The CBS NFL main show. He's their main NFL guy now. James Brown. This is back in the, I guess, the 80s, back when he was calling the Bullets games for their television network there, here in the Washington area. Kind of interesting little and all the old players. Who do we have? And then yes, and then the same guy sent me this picture here. This is Wolfman Jack. Wolfman Jack on Extra 104. It's an old radio station here in Washington. It's no longer around. It's an oldie station, WXTR. He had a show on there. His show was syndicated. He was making a public appearance. This was down in La Plata, Maryland. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. So I got that from Kevin Greavy. No, Kevin Greavy didn't send me that. Interesting stuff there. The Washington Bullets. And then, of course, some guy just sent me this today. Martin Taylor, My Love, My Passion Radio. Holy cow. So I got a lot of books to read. I got a lot of stuff to read. This is pretty cool. Wow. So anyway, oh yeah. Dave, 25 are watching. Well, actually 29 right now, but only one half are chatting. Why is that? I do that. I mean, I go on a lot of chats. I watch a lot of chats, and I don't always chat on them. You know where I was? Oh, I remember that. I'm old enough. John Kennedy got shot in 1963. I was 5 years old. I was at Millbrook Park Elementary School in kindergarten. I do remember it very well. We were out, they were out on the playground. It was the afternoon. The school was going to be dismissed very soon. And I was sitting, I didn't want to run around with the kids. I was an antisocial little nerd. So I was sitting on the step that went into the classroom. And they came on the PA system and they just announced that President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas. And I went over to my teacher who was out, Miss Moran. She was out on the playground. And I said, Miss Moran, the president just got shot. They just announced it. And she looked at me like I was nuts. She goes, oh, David, quit, you have such an imagination. And then and then school ended. We went back in and went home. And I went to my mom and I said, did something happen with the president? Oh, yes. And then boom. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do remember that very well. I'm now pixelated. Oh, my God. All right. I'm going to end it now. We're getting to the pixelation problems. Aliens are here. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate indulging this little news and views today. Appreciate it. Don't forget, 7 o'clock tonight, Blind Views, Thirsty Thursday, and we'll be back with Saturday on Saturday morning. Do I remember when 33 and the Third Paul McCartney album in it? Oh, yeah, I went into all those Beatles clues when I loved the White Album. White Album is my favorite album of all time. I love the White Album. It has all those kooky clues. Turn Me On, Dead Man, number 9. Oh, yeah, there's a whole lot of clues. Revolution, number 9. I love that album. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, folks. Hey, I thank you for watching. Appreciate it. All our best to everybody who loves Aretha Franklin. She was a great talent, a wonderful person, did a lot of good for this country in a very troubled time, and a wonderful artist, one of the greatest ever, I would have to say. Certainly had a lot of effect on my musical tastes over the years. Yeah, as I said, she was probably one of her Respect 45 is probably one of the very first 45s I ever bought when I was just a wee lad growing up in South Jersey. All righty, folks. Thank you all so much for being here, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Stream Silencio.